Guys, Backendless provides a quite powerful API for working with counters that are managed on the server side. And then the counters that we support are atomic, meaning that if you have an environment or an application with a lot of concurrent requests, then anytime you modify a counter, we're going to guarantee transactional integrity of that counter, where if you have multiple requests modifying the same counter, we're going to basically handle it atomically. There is also a graphical interface for managing your counters. If you switch to the data screen and then select Backendless Counters, this is going to be under System Data. All your counters will show up right here in this table, and you can create new counters, you can modify their values, you can delete the counters, and I will demonstrate that in a second. Before I do this, let me switch to the documentation. This is Backendless REST API, and in here you will see the section called Atomic Counters. All the API functions that we support are available right here. You can see and get the details about various APIs that we support. Likewise, if you switch to an SDK for Android, iOS, JavaScript, .NET, you will see exactly the same APIs, but for the implemented natively in any of the corresponding environments. So for instance, to get the current value of a counter, you'll see that this is the an HTTP GET request, where you specify application ID, REST API key, /counters, and then counter name. So let's create a counter in here using Backendless console, and you can create counters using your code as well, but here for the demo purposes I will create one using Backendless console. So let's say that this counter is going to be called number of orders, and let's say the business logic is that you maintain number of orders created on any given day. Hypothetically speaking, that's going to be the scenario. So let's say that the value is going to be some very large number. So now this counter is in there, and you can retrieve it using the API. And in here I have the request. As you can see, the name is number of orders, and when I make the request, I get the value back. And if you modify this value to be something different, then the API, when I refresh it, returns that current value. Deleting it is very easy. Just select one, click delete, and it deletes it there. So quite powerful functionality, especially whenever you need to create some sort of count that you can increment, decrement from your APIs. We see a lot of applications using it from cloud code, from the centralized business logic, and it could solve quite a lot of problems, especially when you're operating in a concurrent environment where you need to have this atomic behavior for from the concurrency perspective. Once again, data, and then select Backendless Counters, and you will see this interface right in your application.